will this work then? Because this is backed by 4.37 million over 4 years. Wouldn't that money be better spent going directly to schools so they can encourage pupils to learn languages?
Well, we have increased spending on schools. 2.4 billion pounds is now being spent on schools, rising to 43.5 billion next year. But this is about encouraging more young people to study a foreign language to GCSE. We've already seen that rise from about 40% to 47% taking a foreign language GCSE. And we all know that it's good for young people to have that qualification. 2/3 of employers say that they value a foreign language skills amongst their employees. It's good to help young people travel and experience other cultures. And of course, it is good for Britain to have more people in the workplace who speak a foreign language, to speak to their customers and to speak to their suppliers.
But if you were really serious about making sure that more younger people were speaking languages, wouldn't you reinstate it to be compulsory for children to take a language at GCSE level?
Well, we've gone a different route. We've introduced a concept called the English Baccalaureate. This is a combination of those core academic GCSEs, maths, English, 2 sciences, a foreign language and a humanity. And we want to encourage more young people to take that combination, because that's the combination that the Russell Group of universities say, when taken at A-level, widens up the greatest opportunities to take a degree at university. And this is all part of the government's a reform programme since 2010 to improve standards in our schools. We've already seen reading improving in our primary schools, maths improving in our primary schools. We've reformed our GCSEs. In a few weeks' time, we'll be having the first results from the new reformed GCSEs that are a higher standard and on a par with the best qualifications taken in the world. So this is all part of that programme of reform to improve standards in our schools and to improve behaviour in our schools.
Nick, do you have a foreign language?
I have a French O-level grade B, so I wouldn't say I'm the best linguist in the world, but it is important.
It seems hard to me to understand that, like you say, that this foreign language is going to be hugely important. Because if it is important, and this was Charlotte's point, why not just say, look, it's going to be compulsory, we're going to put it back onto the compulsory agenda for kids up to 16 to do the GCSE or further, and they actually have to do a language. No choices, they've just got to do it, it's too important.
Well, that's what was the case before 2004, when the last Labour government said it shouldn't be compulsory.
So why not just say, yes, let's do it
compulsory? We've taken a different route. We've said we want... Well, we could do that, but we've taken a different route, which is to incentivise young people through the English Baccalaureate to take a foreign language GCSE, and that has been successful so far. It's risen from 40% taking it to 47% last year. But, of course, we want to go further, and what these hubs are all about is about spreading best practice in how foreign languages are taught, so that children find it easier to learn a language than they perhaps have done in the past. And, of course, the CBI are backing this proposal. They say it's important for young people to have a foreign language in the workplace.
In a post-Brexit Britain, however, wouldn't something like Mandarin Chinese be more relevant? That's spoken by over 1 billion people in the world, and yet only 275 million speak French. Aren't we going to have to broaden our horizons in this future world?
Yes, we are. I agree with you totally. And we introduced a few years ago the Mandarin Excellence Programme. We are teaching 5,000 young people to be fluent by 2020. That's happening in about 32 schools up and down the country. And again, that's a programme we hope to expand in the years ahead as we do the foreign language hubs around the country. We do take Mandarin extremely seriously, and I'm very confident that we will have a cadre of young people who are fluent in Mandarin in the years ahead.
The government has recently announced that there's going to be a pay rise for teachers up to 3.5%, which on the surface, of course, teachers up and down the country, I'm sure, would feel like, you know what, it's about time, and 3.5% would come in very handy. However, only 1% of that pay rise is going to come from central government. You will know just how stretched our head teachers are and how schools are up and down the country. You're trying to encourage more people to put on more languages in the schools as well, so the pupils feel encouraged to take a language. Where on earth will the head teachers have to make cuts to find that extra money in order to deliver on that 3.5% pay rise? Where are they going to get the money from, Nick?
That pay rise is being fully funded, except the 1%. The first 1% is already budgeted by schools, and the government is going to be issuing more money to schools, the pay award grant, to fund that pay rise up to 3.5%. For teachers. So it will be fully funded, so head teachers need not worry about that. We've got very generous tax-free bursaries, up to £26,000, to encourage some of the best graduates with language degrees to come into teaching, to teach languages. Now has never been a better time to be a teacher. The prospects are very high. As you've just said, we've just announced a 3.5% pay rise for young teachers. And of course, the prospects for promotion for ambitious young teachers has never been better than it is today in our school system.